In the business world, there's an unwritten rule. Those who truly win rarely talk about how they got there. The most transformative secrets aren't in viral videos or best-selling self-help books. They're in silent decisions, discreet habits, and the attitudes that shape who you become when no one is watching. Over the past few years, being around people who built fortunes from scratch, no inheritance, no shortcuts, no spotlight, I noticed a pattern. These people follow behavioral codes so consistent that, when applied with discipline, they produce such deep change that your old self simply ceases to exist. Today, you're going to learn the 10 millionaire secrets that create this silent transformation. It's not about pretending to be someone else. It's about becoming someone impossible to ignore, even by yourself. If this kind of content resonates with you, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button. Around here, it's all about clarity, structure, and real transformation. No shortcuts or empty promises. Secret 1. Treat your name like a luxury brand. For a long time, I saw my name as just an identifier. Something on a badge, an email, a profile. Until a mentor told me a sentence that stuck with me. Rich people protect their name like they protect a company worth millions. And it made perfect sense. Think of any truly influential person. Their name carries weight. And it's not just because of money. It's about what it represents. Reputation, consistency, delivery. All of that sticks to a name like a silent public identity. That's when I started noticing something. People who grow fast follow a pattern. They don't make promises they can't keep. They don't badmouth others, not out loud, not in whispers. They don't accept invitations that go against their principles. And when they mess up, they fix it, no long-winded excuses. I started applying this in my day-to-day, double-checking emails before sending, talking less, listening more, saying no with elegance but without hesitation. Over time, something changed. People started treating me with more respect, not because I asked, but because the name I built spoke for me. Those who protect their name build invisible capital, and that capital opens doors money alone can't. Comment below. I treat my name like a brand, if you've also decided your name is a precious asset, like a company worth millions. Secret 2. Never treat your time like it's cheap. Early in my career, I said yes to every meeting, replied to messages after hours, felt guilty for turning down invites, as if my absence always needed an excuse. Then, in a conversation with an investor who built an empire from scratch, I heard this: time is the only asset that doesn't multiply. Either you value it like a millionaire, or you'll live working for them. That hit me hard. I was living like my time was worth pennies. Constant interruptions, always reacting, and proud of being available. Millionaires do the opposite. They structure their time with intention. They say no naturally. They block out non-negotiable time slots, and they treat every hour like a gold coin. One habit that changed my focus was auditing my own calendar. For a week, I tracked where my time was going. The result? Half of my days were being eaten up by irrelevant or urgent demands from others. I cut them out, and for the first time, my free time became fertile ground for strategic decisions. When you start protecting your time, the world starts protecting it too. And more than that, you realize true productivity isn't about being busy. It's about being aligned. Comment below. My time is worth more than others' approval, if you're also learning to guard your calendar like a millionaire. Secret 3. Don't hide your ambition. Refine it. For years, you probably learned to tone down your dreams, to soften your words, to pick smaller versions of your desires so you wouldn't ruffle feathers. Because ambition still sounds wrong when it comes from a woman. But here's the truth. There's no wealth building without sharp ambition. And more importantly, without giving yourself permission to want it. Millionaires don't hide their goals. They don't shrink their dreams to seem humble. But they also don't broadcast their plans to just anyone. They refine their ambition like a jeweler working a raw stone, with precision, intention, and respect. Refining is different from flaunting. It's knowing what you want, why you want it, and what you're willing to do, or give up, to get there. It's aligning ambition with your values, so the path is as consistent as the destination. I realized it wasn't a lack of ability holding me back. It was shame for wanting too much. Fear of judgment, of comparison, of who does she think she is? The answer came clearly. I'm someone who's decided to break through the ceiling they placed above me. And I don't owe anyone an apology for that. The woman who embraces her ambition without apologizing no longer fits into her former self. Comment below. My ambition is clean, refined, and unapologetic, if you've also decided to stop shrinking to fit in. Secret 4. Emotional control is the most underrated wealth asset. Some people think the difference between those who get rich and those constantly putting out fires lies in talent, luck, or networking. But there's a silent factor, rarely discussed, that separates those who build assets from those stuck in cycles of instability: emotional intelligence applied to financial and professional decisions. Millionaires don't blow up in the middle of a negotiation. They don't panic when things go sideways. They don't make decisions when they're angry, insecure, or nursing their ego. They train something that seems simple, but is actually revolutionary: the pause between stimulus and response. That moment when something hurts, but you choose to think, breathe, and act strategically. During a tough professional breakup, I wanted to fire off a reply, prove my point, show strength. But I remembered what a wealthy mentor once told me: every time you react emotionally, you're giving away power for free. I swallowed my pride, waited, replied 24 hours later. The result? I closed a new partnership with the same person, but on my terms. The woman who wants to become unrecognizable needs to understand reacting is cheap. Responding with awareness is a luxury only those in control can afford. Comment below. I respond with strategy, not impulse. If you're also building an emotionally unshakable version of yourself. Secret 5. Make aesthetics a code of respect, not vanity. When we talk about aesthetics, people often think of vanity, appearances, the superficial. But in the world of truly wealthy people, aesthetics serve a different purpose. They communicate intention, self-worth, and discernment. It's not about brands or trends. It's about using your image as an extension of your inner identity. The way you dress, organize your spaces, choose the details around you, it all speaks for you before you say a word. I remember walking into an important consulting meeting. I was wearing simple but polished clothes. Nails done, clean notebook, subtle perfume. Before I even said a word, someone said, "You look like someone who knows what they want." And I hadn't even opened a single spreadsheet. The millionaire woman understands that aesthetics are a silent code of respect. Respect for herself. Respect for others' time. Respect for the space she occupies. She doesn't dress to be validated. She takes care of herself to remember who she's becoming, even when no one is watching. Aesthetics without purpose is noise. Aesthetics with intention is a language of power. Comment below. My image communicates my value if you also choose to show up as someone who's already arrived, because you've decided you will. Secret 6. See money as structure, not emotion. While most people treat money like a self-esteem thermometer, spending to feel better, hiding debt to avoid looking bad, those who build wealth treat it for what it truly is: structure, not emotion. For millionaires, money isn't meant to fill holes. It's meant to build a solid base. It's flow, not escape. It's a tool, not a trophy. This mindset shift started for me when I realized I spent more on days I felt insecure, buying things I didn't need, rewarding myself for surviving the week, then feeling frustrated when my account balance dropped again. It was only when I faced my finances head-on, spreadsheet open, eyes clear, shame left at the door, that I started building real stability. Millionaires know exactly where every cent goes, not out of obsession, but because they know autonomy starts with clarity. They don't outsource their financial decisions. They don't spend to look rich. And most importantly, they don't let money dictate how they feel. The woman becoming unrecognizable doesn't use money to numb herself. She uses it to build structure and be free. Comment below. I'm the architect of my financial stability. If you've also decided to stop running from the numbers and start taking charge. Secret 7. Silence is strategy, not absence. There's constant noise in the air. Everyone wants to be heard, seen, validated. But watch who's really moving the game. Millionaires aren't shouting all the time. They're acting in silence. Silence isn't weakness. It's focus. It's shielding. It's time spent incubating decisions that will only emerge when they're ready, not when others demand them. During a phase when I was scaling my business, I felt the urge to share everything, every goal, every step, every small win, until a mentor told me, speak after it's done, because what's exposed too early dies before it grows. From that moment, I became my own audience. I began to value silence as a tool, planning in private, showing up solid, listening more, posting less. Working so deeply within that, the external became impossible to ignore. The millionaire woman doesn't need to announce she's changing. She changes. And when she reappears, she's no longer the same. She's unrecognizable, in the best possible way. Comment below. My silence is full of building. If you've also realized not everything needs to be proven, just lived. Secret 8. Your boundaries shape your freedom. A lot of people confuse freedom with the absence of rules. They think being free means saying yes to everything, being everywhere, pleasing everyone. But the truth is, without clear boundaries, you become a hostage. To others, to their schedules, to external expectations. The millionaire woman isn't free because she does everything. She's free because she knows exactly what she doesn't do. She has non-negotiable rules. Time slots she won't give up. People she doesn't associate with. Topics she doesn't engage in. Projects that, no matter how profitable, don't align with her principles. When you define your boundaries, something magical happens. The world starts respecting you automatically, because it senses that you respect yourself first. It took me a while to learn this. I said yes to invites out of politeness, swallowed discomfort to maintain ties, tolerated small invasions thinking it was maturity, but I was just giving up my sovereignty, disguised as empathy. Today, my boundaries are emotional, mental, and financial protection walls, not to isolate but to sustain, because when you have structure, you can fly without fear. Comment below. My boundaries uphold my freedom. If you're also building a life where self-respect comes before people-pleasing. Secret 9. Long-term vision is your greatest competitive edge. In an instant gratification world, where everyone wants results in 30 days, thinking 5 or 10 years ahead almost feels rebellious. But ask any millionaire who built their fortune from the ground up. Nothing truly valuable comes from rushing. These people don't just think about today. They make decisions based on what they want to harvest a decade from now. They know what seems like a sacrifice now. Saving, studying, building quietly, is exactly what will put them where few can reach. Long-term vision changes everything. It turns "this is hard" into "this is part of the process." It helps you say no to opportunities that seem good, but won't get you where you want to go. It shields you from the anxiety of not doing enough, because you know you're building a foundation, not a facade. I remember turning down a highly profitable project that didn't align with who I wanted to become. It hurt in the short term, but months later, that no made space for a partnership that catapulted me years ahead. The millionaire woman plays a different game. She's not competing in the round. She's architecting the whole championship. Comment below. I act for the woman I'll be in 10 years if you're also choosing to plant what will sustain your future freedom. Secret 10. You don't need to look ready. You just need to act like you've decided. Waiting to feel ready is one of fear's most elegant traps. It dresses hesitation in a coat of caution and whispers dangerous lines like, "Now's not the time. Maybe later, just after I learn a bit more." The truth is, no one looks ready at the beginning. Not even the millionaires you admire today. They also started full of doubt. But instead of waiting for a confidence that never shows up on its own, they chose to act without guarantees. The decision came before the courage. The movement came before the certainty. Once, in a meeting where I was clearly the least experienced in the room, I realized something. No one there was expecting me to have all the answers. They were expecting me to show up. And when I did, even with a slightly shaky voice, everything changed. I was taken seriously, because I acted like someone who takes herself seriously. The millionaire woman doesn't wait to feel ready. She builds herself on the way, with consistency, with adjustments, with presence. Comment below. I act like someone who's decided to win. If you've also realized that readiness is a result, not a requirement. You've just discovered the 10 millionaire secrets that don't involve magic formulas, shortcuts, or empty promises. They're practical, conscious, consistent choices that create real transformation. Transformation that starts inside and reflects outside. These secrets don't demand speed. They demand clarity. They don't demand perfection. They demand decision. And most importantly, they don't wait for approval. They only need your non-negotiable yes to who you want to become. You don't need to become someone else, but you do need to stop hiding behind the version of you that keeps you stuck. And if one of these ideas hit you harder than the others, that's probably where you need to start. Comment below. I chose to become unrecognizable if this script sparked something you're no longer willing to ignore. And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time. Because this is just the beginning, with vision, courage, and structure. Until next time.